Oh, Dr. Z, do you want me to say it or do you want?
It's all you. This is your,
Okay.
it's our record as a company. It's your record as an individual. So I want you to pump yourself up because this is absolutely our record. Nurse Grace, please share with Nurse Meghan. I'm going to sit back.
All right, everyone. This is a special one. Nurse Grace, why don't you tell everyone, if you don't mind, what attempt this was for you, and just quickly, what your journey was and your experience and all that good stuff.
Okay, believe it or not, and I know I probably hold the record from anybody else, I took the test 49 times, and the 50th time I passed.
Oh, this is the 50th attempt?
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
NCLEX High Yield, what? Nurse Grace, never giving up, what? Let's go.
Yep. And I told her that she wasn't gonna give up. She was gonna do it, right, Nurse Grace? And we worked together. And if you want to just share, your experience with everyone.
Okay. Well, I started out a long time ago, and I'll tell you, how the test changes over because I'm an oldie. I'm not as young as half of you out there. But what happened was I started my journey, and first for the LPN, I was in the LPN school, and my husband had passed, and I have 4 children. And I said, God, if you could get me through the school to let me at least get my associate's degree and go for the LPN, I'll do that. So he always sends somebody to help me. One of my teachers, she was a nun, and she said, Grace, if you need to take the semester off, she said, take the semester off. I have 4 young children, and I'm going to myself, how am I going to do this? So what I did, I took the semester off from school, and then I waited, and we got everything, arrangements made for my husband and stuff. And after the semester I took off, I went back to school. I finished, I got my sewing test. Actually, I took that 3 times. And the reason I did that, because the first 2 times I took it, I kept leaving questions out. I didn't answer all the questions. And then the teacher said, next time you go, Grace, answer all the questions. So I did. And I think you had to get like 350. I got like a 380. So I passed that. So God has been good to me. He blessed me to work as an LPN, which was good. But I said, this is still not what I want to have. I went to school to be an RN, and that's what I want to do. So I took review classes, and I won't take up all your time because this is a long story, but I'll try to cut it short. I went to review classes, and I'm saying to myself, I say, God, I know I'm not, so I even had another private tutor, and the private tutor that I had, I was going to see her, and she had a lot of students. They were coming, they were fresh out of school. And on certain terms, she made me, you know what, Grace, I think maybe you should just be content in the job that you're in, just work at the job you're doing, that's good. In other words, she was being very discouraging and not encouraging me. I said, just for that reason, I'm going to make sure that I do finish. So I was still working at my job as an LPN, and I saw one of the young nurses where I worked, and I said, you just got out of school. I said, can you tell me, if there's anything around? And Dr. Z, that's when your name was, man. You ever heard of Dr. Z? Dr. Z? No, I said, who's it? She said, Dr. Z, NCLEX High Yield. I said, I never heard of him. She said, well, you know what? She said, I think you should check him out. Because see, the other teacher that was teaching me, she taught me with UWorld. And the way she was teaching, I was just not getting it. I was never taught in nursing school the way Dr. Z, you taught me. So I said, you know what? I said, I'll try it. I'll look into this. So you had your free Wednesday classes. I went to the free Wednesday classes. I kept listening and listening. And I said, you know what? I said, wow. I said, the way he's teaching, you make it so clear. I said, you know what? I know as long as I've been out of class for over 40 years, I need the full on-demand thing. So I went, I paid my money, and I took the full on-demand course. And what happened, I would sit sometime and I would just listen, and I would study my notes, and I would hear what you were saying. And sometime when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, I just keep playing the lectures. And I said, okay, I kept saying, I'm getting it. And then sometime I would look and you would say, okay, now what are we doing about cardiac? And cardiac was a little bit hard. And then you would go over some of the questions, and then you would say, I taught you that. And I'm going to myself, yeah, you did teach me that. And so I wasn't sure I got it over and over again. And I said, okay, I'm getting it now. I'm getting it now. Yes. So I felt so confident. And then I said, you know what? I said, Nurse Meghan, I liked how she was up front And she was so honest. She didn't mind telling people, no, I didn't pass the first time. And you being a doctor, how you said you didn't pass the first time. And I said, you know what,
I
God,
passed the first time for sure.
For me. And I think I listened to Nurse Rita, and when I heard how many times she took it, and I actually started crying. I said, well, gosh, I said, God, I'm not the only one who's been taking this for years. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I won't give up.
Nurse Grace and Nurse Meghan, I want to compliment the both of y'all because Nurse Meghan, the praises that I get from your lectures, it's almost as if they don't want me to teach anymore. They want Nurse Meghan to teach everything. Nurse Grace, okay, we thought it was 35. So are we confirming this right now? That was this really 49 to 50 attempt between PN and RN?
Oh, let me tell you, Dr. Z, I have a book that every time I took the test, I put this book together here. I don't know if you can see it, but every time I took the test and I failed it, I put my results in there and I put on the thing, failed. So I actually had this all written to myself. Okay, I said, we can do this. But like I said, Nurse Meghan was so encouraging. And
Amazing.
you know, I've never been on a review class where people would tell me, never give up, do not quit. And I'm going to myself, well, I got to try again. I have to try.
Yeah, of course. With that said, Nurse Grace, you are here. You accomplished your goal. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. The record right now, we thought it was 35. It's 50, okay? It's 50. Nurse Meghan, congrats on setting the bar. And Nurse Grace, congrats for becoming your RN. Thank you for sharing your story.
Congrats.
Can I say one more thing, Dr. Z? Can I say one more thing?
You better.
Okay, so when I went there to take the exam, the day before the exam, I looked and a blood vessel burst in my eye. So I'm looking, I'm going, oh my gosh. I said, my eye, one of them was bloodshot. I get, oh God, please don't let my vision be impaired. So I got in there and I'm so used to when I was taking the test before failing, going 80 something questions and then failure. This time when I went there, I sat down, I did like you said, took out my whiteboard. I start writing that, you know, I start writing everything, ASH, ASGRAPH, start writing ASH and all the needs and all that, going from the bottom all the way up and doing these questions. And I felt so confident. But Nurse Meghan goes to me, she said, Grace, did you try? She kept in touch with me. She said, did you try to see the fast results? I said, no, I didn't. So I wasn't going, I actually took the test on March 7th. And I didn't check till the 19th. I've only checked because I said this time, usually when I used to get home, I would look at some of the questions and see if I could remember everything. I said, this time I'm taking a break from the books. I'm not going to do any of that. And when I looked and I saw it, I'm telling you, when I saw it said pass, I almost dropped out. I want to thank you, Dr. Z, your whole teachers. Everybody knows what they're teaching. And I love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And congrats to both of y'all, Nurse Meghan, holding it down.